All right, welcome back live. Benchwarmer report. August 30th, coming back from a crazy, hectic weekend. First things first, we're gonna have to talk about that fight. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. I don't know who paid for it. I sure as hell didn't pay for it.
Not
but,
I. Not I.
Not me. It was not worth the buck whatsoever for whoever bought it. I'm sorry for you, but I'm very frustrated with Tyron Woodley. A lot of people were kind of saying it was like a rigged. Did you feel like it was rigged? I didn't feel like it was rigged. I just felt like Tyron being Tyron.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was rigged, but yeah, like what everybody was saying on social media about Tyron Woodley and how you were saying on off camera, like the sentiment is that he's not really aggressive, and it showed. Besides when the one time he knocked Jake down and put him on the ropes, other than that, he was just mainly like I guess looking for counter punches. He wasn't really aggressive. He wasn't trying to attack.
Right.
Like even when you could tell that Jake was like gas, Jake was gas, and he was still just sitting back trying to like look for that knockout hit instead of just going on the offense.
Right, exactly. It was very weird to me because like we always complain about Tyron not being aggressive, and he was the same fucking Tyron that just wasn't aggressive. You're fighting a kid that's very inexperienced, and you took, I want to say, the first 2 to 3 rounds off. All right, whatever.
Yeah, why did he do that in the beginning? I don't know what he was doing. He was just like, was he trying to just fill him out or whatever, save his energy?
It was definitely the filling out process, but I definitely think he was trying to see like how would Jake do going into the fourth, the fifth, or whatever the case might be. And then in the fourth, I believe, was it the fourth where he kind of got him hurt, and then he kind of got a really nice, clean right where it kind of dropped.
Yeah, I think that was the fourth or the fifth.
That was the fourth, I believe. As soon as that happened, I was like, okay, now push the pace, corner him. And he kind of did that, and then you can see, like, Tyron getting a little aggressive, a little animated, and then it just stopped.
And then the next round, he just chilled out, and he was just sitting back.
It made no sense. And Jake looked tired.
Yeah, Jake was gassed. Even the announcers was pointing out, like, Jake is basically just running on the ropes the whole time.
Right.
All Tyron had to do was just corner him, and he wouldn't do it. I don't get it. I didn't get it. I was just sitting there like, all right.
No, you can tell that, like, Jake is a novice at boxing in this fight. But the reason, and going back to, like, he's so smart when it comes to picking his opponents. He picked the 39-year-old coming out four fights, losing Skid, who's not in the most confident frame of mind and not aggressive. I mean, he did lose like every single round that he was in the UFC, and he just never. Tyron has for the last couple years doesn't fight to win. He's just kind of fight to survive.
Yeah.
And like, bro, like he showed him more respect than like a professional fighter. Like, how do you?
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Like, how long has Tyron Woodley been a MMA fighter? Like, at least like 10 years at least.
More.
No, that's what I'm saying. At least.
Yeah.
So like, if that's me, I'm going in the ring just trying to destroy this YouTube kid that only has 4 professional boxing matches under his belt.
Exactly.
I might not be a boxer, but I've been fighting like my whole life,
right.
And I know I'm an amateur boxer. He does have amateur boxing record, Woodley. So I don't get why he didn't just use that to his advantage.
All we know that Jake has is overhand right. His jab is mediocre, not great. I mean, okay.
It wasn't going to affect you, but the only thing about it is his jab was getting him points.
Yeah, because he was aggressive in the first, second, third. He was just throwing it. It doesn't mean that he landed, or it doesn't mean that it was.
He wasn't landing all the time, but he landed a couple times.
Yeah. And it wasn't. There was no point in there where I felt like, oh shit, Willie got rocked. There was no point there. Willie's got hit by.
It was a couple hard hits, but yeah, he didn't get rocked like how he rocked Jake. He didn't fall. He didn't stumble or look a little like wobbly or nothing. He just took a couple hard hits to the face, but
yeah, he came in pretty fit. Like he said after the fight, he came in pretty fit. So
he was in shape.
He was able to take the shots, and he was able to withstand it and not really like let the shots affect him. I just don't understand the strategy. Like, what was your team strategy? Was your team strategy to take him into the fourth or fifth and then go off? But then you didn't go off at all. So I'm like, and then he talked about how he thought he won the fight, and he thought that one little flurry of like 10 seconds, and then he was blaming on the ropes. The ropes saved him and all that. Bro, who gives a fuck about the ropes?
Fam, he bounced. Once he come back off the ropes, you should have hit him again, so he would have failed, and then he would have been down.
He like kind of stuttered and then was really shy about going. I'm like, bro, you had him hurt. Just keep exploding, exploding, and he just couldn't never really find his timing. Like the thing about Woodley is that this might sound fucked up, but he kind of like is a fluke puncher.
What do you mean? Like he just gets lucky with his big punches?
Sometimes, yeah. He's very because he sits back and he sits back and he waits, right? Mm-hmm. So majority of the fights in the MMA, when it comes to MMA, like with the Lawler KO, where it's just kind of like he caught him at the right timing and he blitzed in at the right time. But if he doesn't get that fucking timing right, his stand up is trash.
Okay, I can see what you're saying. I was gonna try to push back, but I see what you're saying.
The few times where he was actually successful was just like when he kind of like hurt back and then he clocked him with the straight right. Mm-hmm. That's all timing, right? But if he couldn't get that timing, there was nothing else that presented like a danger for Jake.
Yeah,
the jab was trash. He did like a front jab to the body. That shit don't do anything. Like he didn't do no right hooks to the body. No, he didn't try to dig the body. He didn't try to do no uppercuts. And he's a shorter guy. So what he should do is corner him, get him in tight spots,
and just start working the body.
And he did none of that.
And like
man.
I can see like trying to just wait for the counter punch, for the counter knockout or whatever. Like that'll work in the UFC and MMA because you have more than just your hands. You can use your feet. You can take them down. You can submit them. So if your counter is not working, you can always go to something else. Whereas in boxing, you only can really use your hands. Actually, you only can use your hands in boxing. So I mean, exactly. If your counter's not working, at some point you have to, I guess, try to be aggressive or something. You can't just like, go for the counter the whole 8 rounds or the whole 10 or 12 rounds, however long it's gonna be.
Exactly, and like. At any point did you notice like Woodley even close to being tired?
I would say maybe towards the end he kind of looked a little gassed, but not really. Not to the extent of what Jake Paul was. Jake Paul was like, all it took was Jake Paul taking one wrong big swing and whiffing, and he probably would have got knocked out. But you can't just bank on that. You have to, if you see he's gassed, you got to be aggressive to force the issue to make him do that. You can't just wait for him to just be dancing around and hope that he's going to take a big swing. You got to at least try to,
Right, because I noticed like every single time he goes to the corner, Jake is taking deep breath, right? And Woodley's very calm, and I'm like, okay, I think Woodley got it. I think Woodley's
I thought he did too, man.
I think Woodley's showing like composure, and he's going to come out and be very aggressive. And then he comes out and just dud. Nothing.
I had a feeling.
I was so furious. I was like, dude, just let your hands go.
I'm not going to lie. I had a feeling from the very beginning when the opening bell started and he came out and like when he got into his fighting stance, he got real low. I was like, okay, yeah, he's probably not going to knock him out. I was like, this fight's probably going to end up going the distance. Yeah, I just had that gut feeling. I was like, that's not something a boxer normally does. That seems more like he was in MMA mode and not boxing mode.
Yeah, he started off the fight with like a looping right hand that wasn't even close to any.
Yeah, I think he almost forgot that this was a boxing match and not a UFC match.
And so when the fight ended, it was like low key cringy to me because it was just like him climbing on to whatever that he got, like asking for a rematch. And then, you got Jake with the fucking YouTube response, like, yo, get a tattoo on me, and then, like, we'll get the rematch or something.
I wouldn't get that fucking tattoo.
I'm like, yo, like, T Wood, like, no, you never came into this fight with an advantage, right? So coming out of the fight, you knew you weren't going
fucking. Yes, he did.
Not no advantage as far as like promoting,
Oh,
contract, negotiations,
okay, I
like
get
that
you.
kind of
I
advantage.
thought you was talking about like skill wise.
And also, like, bro, you came in a fight knowing that like he is fighting in his hometown. So if you go to the judges, you not winning that fight.
Especially if it's as close as it was.
Bro,
I feel like if it was, no, yeah, you're right. If it goes to the distance, you most likely
he was never gonna win that.
it would have to like if it goes to the distance, it would have to be obviously unanimous.
Right.
It wouldn't be a split. Yeah, you're not getting that if you at home.
But the fact that Jake even went the distance, that's a plus for him.
That does say a lot.
Him,
Yeah, that
right?
says a lot.
He gonna hold that. He gonna carry that shit to the bank. He gonna be like, yo, I lasted 8 rounds. And I defeat him in 8 rounds when people thought I couldn't fucking last. My gas tank with a former champion, Biso, he's not really a boxer. So
yeah, but still,
you just have to know that like you gotta come in with the mentality of knocking this kid out, or else you got nothing as far as like in the verbal warfare. You got nothing to say after.
He has no leverage no more.
He has no leverage. Why are you calling out for a fucking rematch when on the card, bro? Nobody really had you winning more than 3 rounds, and it was 8. So he won. True. He won at least 5 rounds.
So I mean,
whoever said T Wood won, bro, he had 1 good round. If you really look at it,
I can see why people are saying Woodley won because after the knockout, he was a little more aggressive than Jake from the 4th round on, but in the first 3 rounds and in the 4th round leading up to not the knockout, the knockdown.
Right.
He wasn't really doing anything. And even in that 4th round, he was a little aggressive in the beginning, but he didn't really start turning it on until like a couple seconds before he had him on the ropes. And then for like maybe a good 30 seconds after. And then after that, he went back to just being passive.
And also Jake didn't throw a lot of punches either. And
that's why it was close, and that's why people were saying, "Oh, maybe Woodley should have won," because Jake didn't throw a lot of punches either.
He didn't throw a lot of punches, but he did connect because Woodley had 0 head movement. Like I'm talking 0 head movement. Yeah, he didn't move his head at all. I don't think in this training camp he learned how to duck. He learned how to just roll.
No, I think he did, but I think it went out the window.
He didn't try to move his head at all. It was just like forward or backward. Forward or backward. Woodley showed me 0 skills on the feet. Like, I'm talking like, I've never been so embarrassed of an MMA. Ben Askren was different. We knew there was nothing from Ben. Woodley, we're like, you know what? Maybe. He showed me nothing. I was so embarrassed as an MMA fan. Because I always thought like, okay, MMA is not boxing, but if you can strike in MMA, you can kind of translate that to the boxing game in a sense, He did. And
you're a trained fighter, and this dude is a YouTuber who's been training to fight for 2 years, and these people have been training to fight all their lives, 20 plus years, 15 plus.
Yeah.
I'm still embarrassed for all of them. All of the 2 MMA fighters I lost to him.
Like, it's ridiculous. So
it shouldn't be that hard to beat him. I'm sorry.
Because we saw how tired he got. I mean,
all you gotta do is tire him out.
Yeah, take him to the 5th round and then just body shot him to death. Just body hook him to death.
He gonna want to quit sooner or later.
Because Jake doesn't know how to roll with the punches either. He doesn't have any head movement.
Yeah, he don't know how to. Jake don't know how to dodge punches either. He just be getting lit up the whole time too.
Right, and his stance, he's not really. His guard isn't really up. His hand's very fucking low. If you come in with sharp leading like jabs, you can jab him to death all day. Jab him to death and like left body hook him all day long.
I don't know, man.
All day long. I was watching the fight. I was like jab, and then Woodley threw one jab that was successful, and then
backed up for like 40 seconds and threw another one.
I was so mad. I'm like, yo, I can understand why people think this is a rig because he was gun shy.
Yeah, he was. Let's have some fun with this.
Man,
you think he gets the tattoo?
If you want that rematch, you better get the tattoo, I guess. But yo, don't get the fucking tattoo, man. Woodley, you got paid.
Don't get the tattoo, man.
You got paid, bro. Just sit the fuck back down. Nobody really want to see you fight. Nobody's really interested in you, Woodley.
Yeah,
Nobody was interested in Woodley in MMA, and nobody's gonna be interested in him in
in
boxing.
celebrity boxing at that.
He's 39 year fucking old, man. Let it go. Let
So
it fucking go, dog. You was embarrassment.
so I didn't watch the like the post fight stuff. I didn't really watch it, but from what I was seeing from social media, supposedly Jake was running from Tommy Fury.
Oh yeah. They had a little scuffle in the back, and I guess Tommy was just kind of saying like, sign the contract. But you know what? That motherfucker, he couldn't finish an MMA fighter anyways. So, yo, they both fucking trash.
Listen, Jake needs to just stop running and go fight Canelo and get it over with.
Yeah, just let Canelo like knock the fuck out at you, and then just call out the retirement, man. Like, I'm fed up. Like, I mean, I guess Tommy will make sense because Tommy is technically like a pro, but he's still kind of amateur-ish because he's not really like, he ain't really got the experience. But I mean, at least he has more boxing training than any of Jake's.
And Woodley and Askren and Nate Robinson for damn sure.
So I guess you put that fight together, but the thing is, it's all about pay-per-views. So can Tommy really sell pay-per-views?
I think off of his name, if his brother helped promote it.
No, I don't think a lot of people know Tommy like that, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. If his brother helped promote it, and Tyson.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, your brother can only do so much to help you promote a fight, bro. Like you gotta promote
No, that's
your
true.
own fight.
That is true.